Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Friday, April 12th, Major League Baseball slate. If you're new to the show, welcome. But if just give you a heads up on what we do here, we fade or follow four teams: Cubs, Dodgers, Royals, and Blue Jays. We'll give you some leans on some other games that we're going on, but we'll bet those four teams or against those four teams just to kind of keep the amount of bets down. As you'll see as we go through, we normally have we've got batter props, we've got innings, we've got all kinds of different bets inside of those games, but just on those four is where we make the wagers. First game up, Pirates, Phillies, Sanchez versus Fowler on this one here. To be really honest, they're playing the first game of the series as we're recording this one here. This one in Philly, we'd probably have to just lean slightly Philly here. They're about a $1.68 favorite on that one. I don't see a ton of value maybe on that particular game. As I figured they should be maybe $1.80. I'm sorry, they should be $1.70, $1.60 favorite on that particular game anyway. So maybe not a ton of value there by taking them, but probably the proper play, and Philly get the win there. Next game up, Twins, Tigers. This game was supposed to be on the 11th. Got rained out. Pablo Lopez, Tariq Skubal. Interesting note here, the line did go from 6.5 total to 7. We like the under at 6.5 on this one. And then they had the weather, so definitely under 7 on this game is where we would lean heavily on that one there. Next game up is actually a game we're on. They have not posted the line yet on this one. Brewers and the Orioles. It's because the Orioles are currently playing as we're going through this game here. Orioles back in Baltimore, like 4:05 out here in Phoenix, to 7:05 Eastern time. Baltimore probably should be a slight favorite. Tyler Wells going against Freddie Peralta in this particular matchup. The Brewers have been hitting the ball. That is the one thing that the Orioles are not doing. Now, the Orioles are coming up with a clutch hits, but they are not hitting the ball on a consistent basis. Freddie Peralta has been throwing the ball a little bit better than Tyler Wells. We're actually going to take the away team here, and we'll roll with the Brewers. Like I said, the lines haven't been posted as of yet, but I'm sure the Brewers are going to be some sort of a dog here, a slight dog. So we'll take Brewers money line plus 1.5, minus 1.5, and minus 2.5 on the run line. Brewers over their team total. Brewers plus a half a run, first 3, 5, and 7 innings. We like Chourio and Yelich, and we'll have some props on those guys here. So Chourio, home run, double, over hits, runs, RBIs, over 1.5 total bases, 2+ hits, 3+ total bases, and a stolen base for Chourio, the young rookie for the Brewers, who's typically going to hit leadoff. And then we also like Christian Yelich. Yelich, home run, double, over hits, runs, RBIs, over 1.5 total bases, 2+ hits, and 3+ total bases. So we'll go through all those bets one more time for you. Brewers, Orioles, and this could be subject to change. If the Brewers come out in their favorite, we're going to have to adjust some of these. I don't see that happening, though. Brewers money line, plus 1.5, minus 1.5, minus 2.5 on the run lines. Brewers over the team total. Brewers plus a half a run, first 3, first 5, first 7 innings. Chourio, home run, double, over hits, runs, RBIs, over 1.5 total bases, 2+ hits, 3+ total bases, and a stolen base. Yelich, homer, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, over 1.5 total bases, 2+ hits, and 3+ total bases. So like I mentioned, the line hadn't come out yet. So if you're looking at our Google Sheets, you'll see the actual bet there with no juice or units next to it. That means we haven't wagered it yet, or we haven't been able to put it in. But since there's no lines up for that current game, you'll just see the bets there on the left and nothing next to them like units or juice, all that kind of stuff. But as soon as we get those, we'll post those up for you. Next game up on the board, we've got, in fact, that Brewers game just hit. So the Brewers are a slight dog in that one. They're plus 100. Orioles minus 118 in that particular game so far. So we'll get you that. We'll update those as we come along. Next game up, Rockies heading to Toronto. Gaussman pitching for the Blue Jays against what we got. Feltner there. Blue Jays, no shocker, 220 favorite. The Rockies are still one of the worst teams in the majors. That hasn't changed overnight. In that one there, total of 8. I'll be really honest with you, like maybe the under in that one there, but definitely would lean heavy Blue Jays in that one as well. Then we get the Braves, who got absolutely embarrassed by the Mets, 12-4 in the last game. Max Fried going against Trevor Rogers. Man, this was 4:11 out here in Phoenix, so 7:11 Eastern time on that one. That is one of those games where I could see the Braves dropping this game, the first game out of this set, even though Fried's pitching. 200 favorite is way too much, I think. I know the Marlins have absolutely sucked. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's going to, like, Rogers is a decent pitcher as well. So we'd probably stay away from side and the side on that one. The total at 8.5. I'd be really honest. I'd look at the underplay there on that 8.5 line for sure. Next game up, Yankees, Guardians. Clark Schmidt against Carrasco in Cleveland, 4:11 out here in Phoenix, so 7:11 Eastern time in that one. Like maybe slight lean towards the Yankees. Don't really like the side or the total in this one, to be really honest. I think the Guardians are a little bit better at home, but don't like Carrasco necessarily as the starting pitcher in that matchup there. The Guardians bullpen, though, is much better. When you look at that side of it, maybe a slight lean towards the Yankees. Personally, I'd probably stay away from that game if anybody's looking at that one there. Next game up, we are on Royals headed to New York as well. Royals going playing the Mets. We got Michael Wacha versus Luis Severino. And amazingly enough, the Mets are a favorite, and we're going to say thank you and take that to the bank. The Royals have been on fire, folks, if you haven't paid attention so far. They went 13-3 in the final game of this series. They've just been smashing runs. So an offense that we didn't expect to smash, we're going to ride out this hot streak of them scoring runs. So we'll take the Royals here on the money line. They are like plus, just barely plus money on that one. So we'll take the Royals money line plus 1.5, minus 1.5, minus 2.5. Royals over the team total. Royals plus a half a run, first 3, 5, and 7 innings. Bobby Witt, who had a 4-for-4 game with I think he had 5 runs and 5 RBIs and 2 homers, just a monster. Homer, double, over 1.5 total bases over hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ hits, 3+ total bases. And Nelson Velasquez, home run, double, over total bases, and over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs as well. If you haven't been paying attention, the Royals, like I said, are smacking runs at the moment. Not only that, Michael Wacha's actually pitched extremely well. Kind of shocked in that one. Expected Reagans to pitch well. He has. Seth Lugo, I thought as long as he could stay healthy, he'd have a good shot at having maybe a little bit below a 4 ERA on that one, but did not expect Wacha to come through as good as he has so far this season. So let's go through those Royals-Mets bets for you one more time. Royals money line, plus 1.5, minus 1.5, and minus 2.5 on the run lines. Royals over 3.5 team total. Royals plus a half a run, first 3, first 5, and first 7 innings. Bobby Witt, homer, double, over 1.5 total bases, 3+ total bases, over hits, runs, RBIs, and 2+ hits. Nelson Velasquez, homer, double, over 1.5 total bases and 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Then we'll get up to the next game on the schedule here. That's going to be Reds, White Sox. Andrew Abbott pitching here, going to Chicago against Flexen. This is pretty much auto fade White Sox as many times as you possibly can. I know the Reds didn't have a couple good games against the Brewers. The Brewers are a pretty good team, though. A team in their division that knows them well. The White Sox are not. They are one of the bottom feeders, definitely, of the Major League Baseball so far this season. So we would lean towards the Reds heavily on that one. Next game up, Rangers Astros in Houston. Let's see here. Rangers Actually, a dog in this one. JP France against Dane Dunning. The Astros right now are reeling, to say the least. Bet against the Astros, ride the streak out. Take the Rangers as the dog here. Definitely like them plus money against the Astros on that one. Their offense struggled in the last game. Houston couldn't get. They could score 3 runs, but that's about all they could score. The Rangers definitely a lot more powerful than even the Royals have been putting up. Should be. I would think the Rangers could coast to a win pretty easily there. Next game up, 5:41 out here in Phoenix, so 8:41 Eastern. Cardinals, Diamondbacks, Steven Matz versus Brandon Pfaadt. Diamondbacks have been in a little bit of a struggle, even though they've been playing teams like the Rockies in the six games so far. Cardinals have went against some great teams, except the Marlins. They did take 2 out of 3 there. The Cardinals, in my opinion, are a really good team. Goldschmidt comes back to Arizona, which he normally hits pretty well when he's here. I'd probably look at Goldschmidt props, and I'd probably look at the Cardinals here. They are even money in this game on the money line. Not sure why the Diamondbacks are favored in this one, to be really honest. It's not like they're that, just because of home field advantage in that one, but definitely would lean Cardinals on that game. Next game up, 6:41 out here in Phoenix, 9:41 Eastern. Cubs going to Seattle after they lose 2 out of 3 to the Padres. The rest of this road trip, we got Mr. Miller against Jordan Wicks. Mariners right now about $1.20 favorite, totaled 7.5. The Cubs scored runs in one game. They scored that 8-pack and they lost. They did score, 5 in the next one. The Cubs offense is actually pretty good when they're hitting. The problem is they don't have a lot of home run power. They do have a couple home run guys, but when they don't hit home runs, they tend to struggle to score. And when you don't have monster home run power, that can be a little bit of an issue. Jordan Wicks, the left-hander here. I'll be really honest with you. This Mariners lineup is not very impressive so far. And I don't expect them to keep scoring a bunch of runs. Wicks has been able to keep some games close for the Cubs. Expect kind of the same here with the Cubs. So, I don't know if this is going to be let me put it this way. The total's around 7.5, and I still think this could be an under game. But I still think the Cubs can get out there and get a win on the Friday night, first game of the set. So we're going to take the Cubs money line as a slight dog, plus 1.5, minus 1.5, and minus 2.5 on the run line. Cubs over the team total. Cubs plus a half a run, first 3, 5, and 7 innings. Seiya Suzuki has been on fire. We will continue to ride that hot bat. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, over 1.5 total bases. 2+ hits, 3+ total bases. Morel also hitting around 300 so far with some pop. So we'll ride Morel, home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, over 1.5 total bases, 2+ hits, and 3+ total bases. So we'll run through that one more time for you in Cubs Mariners. Cubs money line, plus 1.5, minus 1.5, minus 2.5 on the run line. Cubs over their team total. Cubs plus a half a run, first 3, 5, and 7 innings. Suzuki home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases, 2+ hits. Morel home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, 3+ total bases, and 2+ hits. Next game on the schedule, Nationals heading to Oakland to play in front of the 300 fans there against the Athletics. A's are actually a $1.32 favorite, and I think they should be. They get a 1-0 win. They've been playing pretty tough ball. Now, I don't expect the A's to win 80 games, but we could see the A's definitely, get into that high 60 mark for wins this season. I think that might actually outstretch what the Nationals can do. So you put about 2 equal teams roughly on the same thing. Even though home field advantage probably don't mean that much in Oakland due to fans and things, I just like Oakland, and traveling out west for the Nationals is not going to be an easy one. So we would lean to Oakland as the favorite there, about $1.30 favorite on that game. Last game on the board, 7-11 out here in Phoenix, so 10-11 Eastern time. Padres, Dodgers, they get back to it. Last time they played was Soul Series in this one. Michael King, the right-hander that the Padres picked up in the Soto trade from the Yanks, going against Yamamoto. Yamamoto got shelled against the Padres in that opening Soul Series game, or I guess the second game in the Soul Series. But since then, has been extremely solid and has looked like he knows what the hell he's doing. He's not going to need a lot of time. Maybe just that one inning exposure got him riled up. Dodgers $2 favorite here, and for good reason. The Padres, without the home run ball, struggle to score. They strike out a ton. They're not great defensively, as they proved in the Cubs series time and time again. In that one there, I mean, Dylan Cease gave up 2 runs, and the only reason he gave up 2 runs is because of errors. The only way to handicap this game is to roll with the Dodgers here. Now, like I mentioned probably in multiple shows before, the Dodgers were going to probably be on, they're probably going to win close to 70% of their games. So when you do take a Dodgers loss, you are going to feel it. Trust me, it's not going to be a lot of fun. They're not going to win every time out, but when you handicap the game, I don't see any other way to handicap this rather than the Dodgers win against the Padres. Now, there will be times we've bet against the Dodgers so far this season. It's worked out and it hasn't worked out. So just keep that in mind when you are playing these Dodgers games, when you're playing these big money lines that are like $2 favorites or more, and we'll see that later on this year with the Dodgers, where we'll probably see $4 and $5 favorites. Just keep that in mind when you are playing them. So Dodgers money line, minus 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Dodgers over the team total. Dodgers minus 0.5 run, first 3 and 5 innings, minus 1.5 runs, first 7 innings. And then we're going to Mookie and Ohtani in this particular one. We might also add Teoscar. We're not quite sure yet, so do make sure you check out those Google Sheets that I've mentioned. If you're on TikTok, they're in the channel. At the end of every episode on YouTube, they're there. So check those out. So we got Mookie Betts, homer, double, over hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, 3+ total bases, 2+ hits. Ohtani, same thing, home run, double, over hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, 3+ total bases, and 2+ hits. And the guy that's been keeping this thing going has actually been Teoscar Hernandez. Freddie struggled a little bit out of the gate, but they are going back home. Freddie does hit quite a bit better at home, so could see maybe that. But we might add Teoscar there, we might not. So make sure as we record this a day ahead of time, make sure you do check back out to the Google Sheets and check that out. So like I mentioned, at the end of every episode we do on YouTube, in the comments section, there is Google Sheet, which is our betting ledger. It reads docs.google.spreadsheet, bunch of other stuff behind it. All you have to do is click into there. If you're looking for the baseball bets, 2024 baseball, scroll down to April 12th. Or if you want to see how we've done on any day before that, feel free to go down to the date, and then you can look at all the bets and then all the results as well. So make sure you check that out when you get some time. And as always, if you could subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, so when we drop a new episode of bets, you get those first. It makes life really simple to find us. Once you hit that subscribe button, we'll be in your subscriptions tab. And if you want to make life even easier, just to go ahead and turn notifications on your phone or device for YouTube, and you'll get a notification to that phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode of bets. Give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.